If you've ever wanted to know how to get off the sales roller coaster and see consistent success, you're listening to the right episode. Hey guys, welcome back to another episode of the Loan Officer Leadership Podcast. I'm your host, Steve Kiles, powered by the Mortgage Marketing Animals. And listen, you're listening to the right episode. If you wanted to know, hey, Steve, how do I get off of the roller coaster? 1 month, I've got a great month, big pipeline. I close a ton of deals. And then the next month, I'm not closing as many deals. And it just seems like what's happening is, as I've got this roller coaster happening in my business each and every month. And it's so frustrating. I want to get off. I was thinking about it. I was on the Loan Officer Breakfast Club. And if you're not sure what that is, the Mortgage Marketing Animals, we put on the Loan Officer Breakfast Club. Go to, loanofficerbreakfastclub.com. We have a 30-minute Zoom call every Monday through Thursday that happens 8:30 to 9 a.m. Eastern Standard Time. And it's really a good buddy of mine, Frank Gouray, Scott Hudspeth, Mike Cardacia, Carl White, myself, and several hundred loan officers, amazing loan officers from across the country, different companies, just working together to work through the DSP, share wins, share successes. What are the challenges? What are the things that we're doing each day to stay successful? And, this actually came out of it. We're sitting there and I'm listening to some of the challenges that are happening. And I know Mike Cardacia had mentioned something about, what he's doing to see the success in calls. And man, I just thought, brother, I started writing it down. I thought I got to share this episode at the Loan Officer Leadership Podcast, because I want you to know this. Half of the roller coaster, there's two main reasons why you are on a roller coaster. And then I want to share the 7 keys to consistent sales success, how to get off the roller coaster. So I think there's 2 main things. Number one is most people are on a roller coaster because you don't have the right help. You get busy, get a ton of business. All of a sudden, now when you hand off that loan and you've locked it in and it goes back to your processor loan partner, you're getting back into the files. You're getting pulled back into conditions and verifications and scheduling closings and all of the B activity. The A activity is what gets the deals. The B activity is what closes the deals. And one of the things, we're not going to talk about so much the B activity, but let me just tell you this. You've got to get great help. I would encourage you. There are a number. We just hired several great loan partners from my branch and loan officers. Like, we are hiring amazing people because there is a lot of opportunity for great loan partners. So the 2 things that get you off of the roller coaster, number one is you got to have great help. The help is instrumental. So if you don't have help, hire help. If you don't have the right help, talk to your branch manager. I'm confident they want you to have the right help. So just talk with them, help identify who could be, how can they help you? I know we help our loan officers. We actually hire the loan partners and take care of all that for them because we want you loan officers selling. So just talk to your branch manager. They'll help you. The second thing that gets you off of the roller coaster is being consistent with the sales activity. So the 2 core foundations and fundamentals are you got to have good help, get good help, talk with your branch manager, figure out a solution there. Number 2 is sales. That's what I wanted to focus on today. I talk to a number of loan officers every day, and I absolutely love my calls. But one of the things that I'm hearing that is consistent is, hey, listen, I'm making the calls. I'm doing the activity. If you've been listening to the podcast, we talked about the daily success plan. Monday, we're making our Thor's Hammer Focus 40 calls. When? Every Monday. What time? 9 to 11 every Monday. Tuesdays, Just Ask Tuesday updates. We're asking for the business. How many times? Every time. Every Tuesday. When? 9 to 11. Wednesdays, database. What are we calling our database? 2 letters of the alphabet a week. This week, ABs. Next week, C's, D's. Next week's E's, F's. And we're just doing a check-in call, and we're at the end saying goodbye a little bit different. Hey, can I ask a quick favor? Hey, can I count on you that when you have a friend, family, coworker looking to buy, sell, or refinance, you give us their information so we can work with them just like we worked with you. Say goodbye by asking for the business. Thursdays are pre-approved and looking. Every client you have in the pipeline that is pre-approved and looking, you are following up with them to see how the house hunt is moving along. Have they identified a house? And then asking for the business, then touch the lead, absolutely touch the partner. Now, here's the thing. As you're doing this week in and week out, I've got a number of loan officers. Our branch continues to grow. We've got great people all over the country. And what I'm encouraging them with is, remember, it's a 90-day cycle. When you start being consistent with making the calls, when you start being consistent with the right activity, when you start doing the right things, regardless of what's happening in your pipeline and not being pulled into the B activity, you will see success. But what I think happens is you fall short, or you stop short of the breakthrough. I love that illustration, that water boils at 212 degrees. If you stop turning up the heat at 210, it doesn't matter how long you sit at 210 degrees, the water will not boil. And what I want to encourage you is the 7 things, the 7 keys to consistent sales success are: number 1 is commit. When you know what the right activity is, and you've been listening to the podcast, if you're new to the podcast, go back and listen to the DSP. Listen to each one of those episodes where we talk about what the right activity is each and every day. And so you've got to get the right activity. And then once you know what it is, you've got to commit. What are you committing to do? Hey, well, I'm not able to implement every day of the week. Okay, well, let's commit to implement one day of the week. Whether that is just Ask Tuesday updates with your current pipeline, whether it's pre-approved and looking, whether it's making the outbound calls to agents, you've got to make a commitment. So number 1 to having consistent sales success is commitment. What are we committing to? Hey, I'm committing to have 3 realtor appointments a week because I'm making my Thor's hammer every Monday, not this Monday, not next Monday, and then the next Monday, but every Monday. So in having consistent sales success, we've got to make a commitment to the activity you're willing to do. So look at the daily success plan and make a commitment to this day of the week. I commit for the next 6 months, the next year, the next 3 months, whatever that timeline is, that before 11 o'clock every Monday, I will have my Thor's Hammer Focus 40 calls complete. So when you make a commitment, now you know, okay, this is what, regardless of what falls, regardless of what problems come up, regardless of emails, regardless of distractions, I am committing to X sales activity every day, every week, every month. So number 1, in order to have consistent sales success, commit. Decide what your commitment is. Number 2 is this: you got to put it in your calendar. If it's not in your calendar, then you will not do it. So look, in your mind, I know you're probably driving right now, or you're walking, or you're working out. Here's what I'd love for you to do. Literally pull over just real quick, like take 60 seconds, pause this podcast and say, okay, look, I know what I've got to do. The daily success plan, it's no silver bullet or rocket science. What day of the week am I committing to? Now, literally pull out your phone and go to the calendar. And from 9 to 11 from that day, go ahead and time block it and do it where it has a consistency to it. It's a reoccurring event every week. That activity is now in your calendar. And what I typically do is on scheduled activity is I put 15 to 30 minutes on the front end of do not book, that don't book anytime, and 15 to 30 minutes on the tail end of that prospecting activity, do not book. And I literally put it as red time in my calendar. Then the sales activity is green time. So from 9 to 11 on Monday. And then there's 15 to 30 minutes behind it. Usually I do 30 so that I can make my notes, any trailing calls or any additional emails or follow-ups that are needed based on the conversation. And so in order to win and have consistent sales success, number 1, we've got to commit to what we're willing to do. And listen, be real with it. If you're only willing to make 20 calls a week, I'll take it. Do it. If I'm willing to meet with 3 agents a week and committed to do as many calls as it takes, then do it. Whatever it is, commit. Number 2 is you got a calendar. You got to put it in your calendar. If it's not in your calendar, you will not execute. And when people interrupt you, what you can tell them is make sure they know, hey, listen, I'd love to talk to you, but I'm in my green zone. I'm in the number one activity that'll help me get off this roller coaster. Number three is just do it. Um, we talk about it on the podcast each and every week. Anything worth doing is worth doing badly. You just have to do it. When do you get started? Do it now. When do I get started? Today. Today is the day. I love what Carl says. Today is the day. And then the phrase we say all the time behind it is I choose. I choose that today is the day that I get consistent with the right sales activity because I know what it takes to have consistent sales success. I choose today to get rid of the excuses. I choose today to get rid of the distractions. I choose today to make sure that the A activity has priority over the things that don't make me money. You got to just do it. I love what John Maxwell says. And it's so funny with my kids. It's as I take them to school and it drives them nuts, but I'll never forget reading one of John's books. And he said, one of the most powerful things I did was I would tell myself 50 times a day, just do it now, 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 do it now. And I literally, with my kids going to school, will have them say, do it now 50 times with me. And it drives them nuts, but I'm trying to teach them we don't procrastinate. We don't wait. We just do it. We do it now, even if it's a little messy, even if the calls go bad, even if my scripts don't make as much sense as I thought they should. You do it now, and then you go back and measure the results. That's number 4. Like, hey, I'm doing it. And as I'm doing it, I'm measuring my results. How did the calls go? Well, they weren't good. Okay. Well, that's not a big deal because we can tweak anything that didn't go good. I find that the biggest challenge most people have is the challenge of inactivity. Hey, well, what do I say? I don't know. Make the call. And the truth is, if you're a Mortgage Marketing Animals member, we've got every one of these scripts on the back end of the website. If you're wanting to know, hey, what do I say? And you're not a member, schedule a strategy call with us, and you can screenshot the scripts that you need. Go to freedomplanningcall.com, freedomplanningcall.com. We are absolutely passionate. We already know how to get the results. Our loan officers, I'm thinking about one of our loan officers. She is absolutely phenomenal. And she has been doing the right activity. And this is about her 90-day window. And she's new in the industry in the Dallas market, been less than a year. And I remember a month ago, she's saying, Steve, I'm discouraged. I'm doing the activity. I'm not seeing the results. I keep making the calls. I'm meeting with clients and new agents, and I'm doing all of this great activity. And I remember kept telling her, Lori, don't stop. You're doing it right. Keep moving. Keep moving. Even when it hurts, you've made a commitment. Keep making the calls. And here is what's phenomenal. This last month, which just ended last week, she locked in 5 loans in her pipeline, the biggest she's ever had. She's less than a year in the business, and it's because she pushed through the pain. The key to consistent sales success is you commit, you calendar, you just do it, and then you measure those results. And so when you just do it, even if it's sloppy, even if it's bad, you will get better. Don't quit short of your breakthrough. So once you just do it, you're measuring the results. You'll, like one of the earlier podcasts a few back, I was talking about what are the 6 things we measure in sales. It is the number of outbound calls, the number of talk tos, the number of scheduled appointments, the number of kept appointments, the number of leads, and the number of completed applications where they actually pull credit or review credit. And so you've got to be measuring your results. I made 200 calls and I had 4 talk tos. Well, those results don't work because you should be having better success. Like if I do my Thor's hammer 30 calls, you should literally be talking to probably 10, 15 people on 30. And so my encouragement is if you're not measuring your results, if I'm making the calls and I made 100 calls and I had 2 talk tos, it's either your time is wrong, you're not calling the right people. There's something off with those results. Maybe it's the caller ID that you're using. Maybe it's showing up as spam. There's something you've got to fix. So if I make 100 calls and I have 15 to 30 talk tos, now that's telling me, okay, I've got the right time. I've got the right list. So if you're not measuring the results, you don't know what to tweak. Like someone told me the other day, I have 15 scheduled appointments. Awesome. How many kept? 5. wow, something's wrong. You shouldn't have 15 scheduled appointments and 5 kept. And some of it was this person was scheduling appointments 2 and 3 weeks in it out, which the problem is I find the closer the appointment, the more likely to keep. The other thing is they weren't sending reminders the day before and the day of. So you've got to measure the results. That's number 4, because if you're not measuring the results of your sales activity, you don't know where the holes are. You don't know what needs to be evaluated. You don't know what to tweak, scripting, process. Is it a text? Is it a follow-up? Is it an email? If you meet with 10 agents and you don't get 2 starting to refer you, that's about the number. Meeting with 10 will get 2 new partners. And then if you do great follow-up, you can see that number as high as 4 to 6. But if I'm meeting with 10 and getting 0, maybe I'm not asking for the business. Maybe I'm not closing correctly. Maybe my meetings are ineffective. But if you don't measure results, you're not able to go in and literally tweak what you're doing to see even better results. So number 1 is commit, 2 is calendar, 3 is just do it, 4, you got to measure your results. Number 5 is celebrate the wins. Listen, if you're doing the activity, celebrate the wins. Celebrate the wins. If you've never made calls, and this week you made 20 calls, come on, celebrate the wins. If you've never made calls and this week, Monday, you made 10 calls, celebrate the wins. Because I think what happens is we put all of this pressure on ourselves, like I'm a failure, I don't do it, I can't do it. And we don't celebrate the baby steps. I love what James Clear said in his book, Atomic Habits. Man, phenomenal book. And he said, my goal is just to get 1% better, 1% better, 1% better. 1% doesn't sound like a lot, but over time, the compounding effect is wildly significant and transformative. So what we've got to do is celebrate the wins with our teams, celebrate the wins with our BDR, celebrate the team's branch managers with our loan officers. I just heard a call and one of our guys made 40 calls yesterday and booked 6 appointments. And you better believe I'm sending him a text this morning and saying, bro, you killed it. Celebrate your wins, man. Great job. Wash, rinse, repeat. And we've got to be celebrating the wins. I heard another one doing Just Ask Tuesday updates and got a referral from the agent he did a Just Ask Tuesday update with. I'm sending him a text today to follow up and calls. We've got to be celebrating the wins with ourselves. We got to be celebrating the wins with our teams. Here's number 6. The good news is, once we measure the results, we still celebrate the win. Number 6 is pivot. If we made calls and they weren't effective, change the way we're making the calls. If we need better scripts, get better scripts. Book a strategy call. If you're not a member, we'll give you our scripts. Freedomplanningcall.com. If you're a member of Mortgage Marketing Animals or a Freedom Club member, then go to the back end of the website. I know my script book's there. The scripts that we have are there for you to get better. If it's technology, there's tons of resources and ideas. And I know in our Freedom Club Facebook group, we've got top producers sharing strategies. So once you measure the results, which was number 4, number 5, celebrate the wins. You got to do that regardless of how small. When you pivot, number 6, you can log in and lean into, other great producers. Hey, I'm having challenges here. My conversion's not high. I'm making a lot of calls, but not getting a lot of talk tos. I'm talking to agents, but not getting scheduled appointments. I'm getting appointments, but they're not showing up. The ones that are showing up are not referring me business. We have a community and tribe. I really believe, one of my dear friends, Jeremy, told me this a long time ago. He said, man, life moves at the speed of relationships. And I just believe that in order to pivot, half of pivoting quickly is having a tribe and a community of people that can help you dissect and uncover what is happening in your business. Once you've committed, number 1, to doing the work, and it's calendared in your calendar, and you're just doing it, which is number 3, as you measure the results, celebrate the win, and pivot, that's where you get others to help look and see what is it that you can do differently in order to see different success. So you got a number 6, which is pivot. Pivot, pivot, pivot. That's what I love in today's industry. You don't have to do it with poor results very long. Half the battle is just getting started, but then as you're doing it, pivot, make quick tweaks, make little changes. And as you're doing it, you'll see huge results. And number 7 is this: you got to repeat. Repeat, repeat, repeat. And you say, Steve, what do you mean by repeat? I mean, do it again, week in and week out, week in and week out, week in and week out. I am telling you, there are so many people I have seen stop short of the breakthrough and throw their hands up in the air and say, it doesn't work. It does work. I promise you this works. The results we've seen in my personal business, the results we've seen with the loan officers in my branch, the results we see with the members that are being coached within Mortgage Marketing Animals are astounding. You know, I'm thinking about Lori again, short of the breakthrough, discouraged, saying, man, oh, I'm so discouraged. The encouragement, keep doing it, keep doing it, keep doing, and a breakthrough here in the last 30 days. Same thing with Corbin, breakthrough this last 30 days. I can literally go through one after another, breaking through the barriers because they're refusing to quit. So number 7 is repeat. You got to repeat the sales activity that helped you have the success. So number 1, commit. Number 2, it's got to be in my calendar. Number 3, I've got to just do it. Do it now. Do it now. Do it now. Do it messy. Do it a little bit disheveled. Do it a little unprepared. Do it a little chaotic. I don't care. Just do it. Number 4, you got to measure your results. If you're not measuring the results, you can't get better. Number 5, you've got to celebrate the wins. Regardless how small the wins are, celebrate them. Take yourself to dinner, buy yourself a box of steaks, have a date night, splurge, go buy that handbag, buy that awesome purse you've been wanting, those shoes, buy that watch, buy that, do something to celebrate the win. Number 6, you got to pivot. Once you see where to pivot quickly. And number 7, repeat the activities each and every week. And that's how you get off of the roller coaster. These are the 7 keys to consistent sales success. And hey, I am so passionate about helping you. Listen, and if you want to look at scripts, or you're saying, I need somebody to help me look at my business and what I'm doing and how I can continue to tweak, go to freedomplanningcall.com. We would love to book a 45-minute strategy call, be in front of the computer. And man, our team, Mike and Erica and Ralph, we got a phenomenal group of a team that will help you build your strategy, help you with your business. This does not have to be a struggling year. I'm thinking about how many loan officers in my branch are having their best months ever in what others would say is a downtime, a flip in the mortgage industry with doubling of rates in 5 months. We are still having record months because the right activity produces the right results. If you'll be consistent, if you'll stay committed, and you will do the right activity. So, hey, thank you for all the reviews. It is so awesome to see you giving us reviews. We really, really appreciate it. I would encourage you to subscribe wherever you consume content. That way you get the podcast each and every week. Share it with 2 other loan officers you know would benefit from this today. That would be a huge help. That's my ask to you, to share this with 2 other loan officers that you know would benefit. So subscribe, share, and give us a review. We would love that. Thank you for being a part of the Mortgage Marketing Animals. And Carl and myself and Tammy and Diane, it's our greatest desire that you would have phenomenal success, that you would see sustained success, and you would live a life of freedom because you're in this amazing industry. So, hey, remember this, anything worth doing is worth doing badly. Just get started. See ya.